Hello and welcome to Behind the Screens podcast with me, Curtis.
You weren't sure about your name then, mate?
I just thought I'd mix it up with me, Curtis.
And me, James.
James. And...
But
Oh, fair enough. How's everyone doing? We all good? Video over in the corner. Today, we're talking about school.
Yes.
Many, many years ago for us.
Both of us.
Even longer for others. What do you think about school?
Some of the best times and also some of the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really say much more than that at the moment, Curtis.
Fair
until
enough.
we get to
Well,
the
thanks
podcast.
for watching Behind the Screens.
No, it was. Like, when you think about school, like looking back now as an older man, it was some of the best times.
As an older man, that's quite sad, mate.
But when you like leave school,
Yeah.
you're glad to leave. But now I want to be back in there. Not at this age, but obviously when you're 16 again.
Do you think you look back on it with rose tinted glasses because like childhood, everything's nice, or
Yeah.
do you think like it would be good to just live that speed of life again?
What's not to like about it, really? The only stuff, well, we'll talk about it later on.
Yeah, I can give you 5 things.
Yeah,
the top 5.
Top 5 things. But it was sick. A lot of it was good fun.
Yeah,
Like, you're with your friends every day, lunchtime football, school trips. The only shit things were the...
you're reading off my top 5 best things.
Sorry, mate, I'll stop now. I'll stop.
Well, there's got to be some good stories. Did you have any mental teachers, bad teachers, good teachers?
Which sort of story do you want? I've got a few.
Give me the craziest.
The craziest.
Yeah.
There's a few here. Oh, I don't know which one to pick. It's either the pedo teacher...
Great, strong start. Let's go with that one.
Or actually, I'll go with the most mental thing I think that
Okay.
happened at my school when I was there. We used to do French class with a teacher called, I think she was called Miss Cole.
Doesn't sound very French.
No, she wasn't. She was very English. But she was just a nice woman.
Right.
There wasn't much you could, like, you can't really pick like a bad fault about her. But there was a few rogue kids in the school. And in her classroom, there was a cupboard. It's like a walk-in cupboard where extra books were stuck in, or like, I don't know, paper is in, and you could go in there and pick out things. Anyway,
Storage cupboard, yeah.
it's a storage cupboard, yeah. So she goes in there one lesson, and she's in there for like, I don't know, 10 seconds. And one of the kids, he gets up, shuts the door, and he locks her in.
Brilliant.
And then what proceeds to happen is he starts getting paper that he's got on his desk with a lighter, starts lighting it and putting it under the door and trying to set her on fire.
What?
That legit happened.
What did...
I think I can't really remember exactly what happened, but I remember her like screaming, like going, "What the fuck is going on?"
That is not normal.
Whilst this lad continually puts paper on fire underneath the door, and I do know what happened after that. He got expelled,
Fair enough.
and she survived, thankfully.
Survived. Okay.
But yeah, it was like a baffling situation. Just one of those moments of head loss, I think. Just decided to try and set a woman on fire.
Wow.
did you go to a school in like Gotham or something? Where was this?
This was a good
The
school as
Joker.
well. Like, it's a good school with just some rogue kids in there.
I wonder what the guy is now. Probably setting fire to
Yeah, he's
inmates.
probably still in there,
Yeah.
mate, like setting fire to stuff.
Behind bars somewhere.
What's the most rogue thing that happened at your school?
There was one teacher story that just always sticks in my mind. For a whole year of English lit, teacher was, I think she had a baby or something, so we had substitute teacher the entire year. And there was one that we had all the time. She was useless, like no control over the class, just it was carnage. But she had like a crutch at all times, just one crutch that she'd walk around with. And something happened and some kid said something to her, and they like started like having a tussle over something, and she was trying to take it off him and he wouldn't let go.
The crutch.
No, it wasn't the crutch. It was,
Oh.
I don't know what it was, like a jumper or something silly. And she like starts screaming at him. Everyone suddenly looks and they're pulling it. And she just gets her other crutch and goes like that, smacks him on the arm. Honestly, the noise it made, I will never forget it. And this kid who was like quite like a hard kid, like normal lad, bursts into tears, runs out the class. And this is like year 9, year 10.
Yeah.
And we never saw her again. That was the
Yeah.
last she
can understand why.
taught a lesson. But part of me feels a bit sorry for her because she definitely was being pushed
Yeah.
like, to the edge.
I remember also there was
Kids are bad.
we had a replacement teacher once, and she was there for a while. And I remember one kid, every single lesson, before it started, he'd go, "Miss, will you go out with me?" Like,
Was she fit?
probably looking back now, yeah, she was, but I can't really picture exactly what she was like. But every single lesson he'd go, "Will you go out of me? Will you go out of me?" And it got to the point where she obviously got very fed up of it. And I think after one lesson, he went up to the front of the class, and I think she was like, she was putting like board pens back in like a box or something. He just touched her ass, and he goes, "Miss, will you go out of me?" He got expelled as well.
Brilliant.
So
Nice.
Kids just don't have a clue, do they?
no, it's just baffling. Did you have any pedos?
Not that I'm aware of,
Mm.
but I just didn't tell on any of them. So it was no, I don't think so. Do you?
Yeah,
You did, didn't you?
Yeah, we had a couple pedos.
A couple.
A couple of pedos. If you Google him, like, you can probably see.
Do you
all
want
the-
people to know what school you went to?
Not really, but yeah, you can see where it was.
We'll blur it.
So this guy taught history, and he was teaching us when we were doing, I think we were doing GCSE, so we were year 10. We walk into his class like one time, and he'd obviously had a free period beforehand, so no lesson beforehand. We walk in, he's on his laptop or computer, and he sort of got like trousers.
Oh no!
Like, he pulled his trousers up, and his shirt was through his flies. So his fly was there, and then one of the lads, I can't remember who it was, he just goes, "So what's going on there?"
Honestly,
And he goes, "Oh, nothing, right?" And then he has 2 mobile phones, which is a bit weird. And we go, "Who's that one for, sir?" And he goes, "Oh, that's my girlfriend, Doris." Right? He had this like fictionary thing that he had a girlfriend called Doris, obviously taking the piss, it's for kids.
yeah.
Anyway, as the weeks go by, he stops coming into school, and there's rumours going around that something's happened to him. And the head teacher says that he's done some ACL in his knee and he won't be back in school for a while.
Right.
So this went on again for like 6 months until one day, front page news of the whatever it's called.
Gazette.
Teacher sentenced to however many years in prison for paedophilia.
Wow.
So
Was it someone at the school or was it out of school?
what do you mean? The kids?
Like his victims?
I think they're out of school, mate, yeah.
Okay.
I think they were very underage kids. Like,
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
gee.
I can't remember exactly what he did, but he did some naughty stuff. And I think he went to prison, right? And then he came out of prison, and then he went back in because he did it again.
Yeah.
So
3 years ago, he pleaded guilty to.
3 years ago.
only 3 years ago.
If this is the same person,
Turn it around. That's him. Yeah.
yeah,
That's him.
he went on to be a UKIP councillor.
That must have been before, though. Before he was a pedo.
Oh yeah.
Before he got caught being a pedo.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah.
He was given a rehabilitation order, and then he was deputy head of sixth form.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
he left it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and respected member of the community. He's done it again 6 times.
Jesus.
6 times.
Pleaded guilty to 6 counts. Wow.
He's in it for the love of the game, man. Jesus.
You can't stop this guy. And there was a couple others as well that there was rumours going around that they were pedos. And
Right.
It was, when someone's just a bit of a weird character, like flamboyant out there, just a
They
bit of
automatically-
a pedo. And then they mysteriously leave the school.
Mm.
So there was rumours going around that these teachers were also pedos, but there was nothing that ever came out about them. But 100%.
Could you
Pedo.
imagine though being a teacher?
Being a pedo?
but-
No, I
but-
can't.
no, but not being a pedo and being accused. Hang on, hear me out. But being accused of being one, like the stress that you would be going through if people actually thought you were, that would be horrific.
Yeah, but I think that's just what a lot of kids think of teachers, that they're all pedos, especially like the weird older fellas.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
think, why else do you work in a school?
Yeah.
But
Why are you still here?
yeah, go away, old man.
Yeah. So
Any interesting stories from yours? You went to a London school.
Yeah, I
feel
went to
like
a
your
rough
experience
school. I
was
went to an inner
different.
city school. So,
classic pedo school.
not many pedos.
Preying underprivileged kids.
My school was quite rough. So there was a lot of incidents where kids from other schools would come into the school and fight each other with cricket bats. I remember
Yep,
someone I
classic.
knew get his head smashed open with a cricket bat. Another story was, I have a story about how a single teacher at the start of my time in this school ruined my entire first year by just using one word.
Go on.
Oh,
So
did she call you?
she didn't call me a pedo, no.
Pedo wouldn't want you.
So I went to a school in Tottenham, North London, and I moved to Northwest London, and I went to a school in Cricklewood, Northwest London, if some people know where that is.
Northwest London, if you don't know.
Yeah. My full Polish name is Bartosz, right?
Bartosz.
That's my full name. Now this was my first day of school. I think like second period is a history class. We had a teacher called Miss. She was very, very African. She had a thick African accent.
Yep.
And when when you do the roll calls, she was pronouncing everyone's name. She couldn't pronounce my name. You know what she said? Butters.
Butters.
And that was my nickname for the first.
Butters.
That was my first name. That was my
That's
nickname for the
brilliant.
entire first year of that school. My first day of school, ruined by this woman.
Butters.
That's so good.
I reckon she did it on purpose.
Yeah, 100%.
Nah,
She's done
dude,
like that.
so African, man.
School uniform. So you went to private school, didn't you?
Hmm.
What was your school uniform? Because mine was horrific.
It was a grey suit. So you wore like from year 7 to year 12, you wore the grey suit, which was like grey suit, blue shirt, and then the tie. Whatever.
Right.
Then the sixth form was black suit, white shirt, red tie.
Okay.
It was all right. It wasn't like
Standard.
horrific. What
So-
was yours like? Pink or something?
No, not far off, mate. So they changed it. It annoyed me. They changed it halfway through year 10. So basically we had to do all of this. And then it just went to like a shirt and tie sort of thing. We had corduroy trousers, hot in the summer, cold in the winter. They were
course.
ranked like they were like that browny colour. Then we had a piss yellow polo and a brown jumper. And that was it. I need to find this because
Sounds like my primary school.
it basically was a primary school uniform. I don't know if you better see.
My primary school one was brown with yellow shirt.
That was the colour of the jumper.
Yep, nice.
And just with the corduroy, just absolutely rank.
Look good in that.
Mate,
It's your colour.
hated it. Absolutely hated it.
Who was your worst teacher ever?
I got on with a lot of my teachers because I was like funny and if you're like
Pedos.
and I'd let them do what they wanted to. No, I didn't really like hate that many. There was some that would just do my head in, but there was one I did photography A level. Shocking, I know.
Learning to be a pedo.
Yeah, so I was taking pictures of
Kids.
and she just didn't like me. And you know when they've just got it in for you, and every opportunity, like they'll kind of like do something to make a dig, like they'll pull you up on everything, and just basically for about 6 months, just dug me out on
Non-stop.
absolutely everything she could. And I got an A. So
Well, that taught her.
yeah, she taught me.
My one, you're going to have to bleep this guy's name out.
Where did he touch you?
He didn't touch me anywhere. Right? He taught geography, PE, and coach rugby.
Okay.
If you ask anybody, sorry, if you ask anybody that went to our school who the biggest prick was, everyone would pick him without a question. I've no idea what his problem was in life, but there was something going on. Must have been going outside school. Either his missus hated him or he was divorced or whatever. But he put everyone's life through hell, no matter what. Like, I can imagine even the staff probably hated him and he was just fucking absolute arsehole.
Yeah.
I can imagine like every school probably has a similar character where a 45-year-old fella thinks he's a bit of a boy because he can lift some weights and he's played a bit of rugby.
Yeah.
But in truth, he was just a massive bully.
Still teaching
Yeah.
like, rugby.
I don't know whether his particular thing with me was that he probably taught my brothers as well.
Right.
So either they made his life misery and it was his
You
job
paid the
to
price.
make my life misery. But like he just couldn't handle anyone having any success in life. And teachers are meant to inspire you to like learn and be interested in stuff. Like his inspiration was to make me hate his guts, and he was a fucking prick.
I feel like it either goes one of two ways. You either get in it because you want to inspire the next generation, or, and I feel like this is the same in policing as well, where you either want to like clean up the streets, or you were bullied as a child and you want to like
Clean up the
you want
streets.
some power. I feel like policing and teachers, it's just a way like you can be the authority and you can just be a dick.
But it'd just be like anything
Yeah.
that would set him off, and you'd be a split second away of thinking he's going to knock
He
me
can't
out.
wait to do it. He's
gonna beat
wants
me
to
up.
fight. Yeah, he wants a kid to come at him.
Yeah, and I had him as a form tutor from year 7 as well in the first year of school. Like honestly, day one, just like he's a fucking twat.
Yeah. Form was pointless, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What a waste of time.
Best teachers?
There's one that just always sticks out, and it was primary school, and it was this guy called Mr. Vaffadis.
What a name that is.
Fantastic
Greek?
name. Yeah, Greek. He was just like mid to late 50s, but he was like everyone's granddad, but also really funny. Just stop it. I know exactly what you're thinking. You're a wrong one. No, I just always remember like that. He was year 3, and I just remember like absolutely loving every minute of that year. Like he was just quality.
Yeah.
He's probably dead now.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be, could not
Yeah.
be.
Cheers for that, mate. Really lighten the mood.
I've got one, best one. Shout out to Mr. Dawkins. He was my history and politics teacher. And he was one of them teachers, probably like what you said before, that he just had a positive energy about him.
Yeah.
And he wanted you to do well no matter what. He was that guy. And there was lots of kids in my school that were just didn't give a fuck and a bit of no-hopers, even though they were being, like the parents were paying to be there.
Yeah, yeah.
He was one of those teachers that would try and pick him up and try and help him in life. I remember as well, this is one thing that always sticks out to me about him, is when I was like 17, I collapsed my lung and I was in hospital for 3 weeks. He was the only teacher in my whole school that reached out to ask me how I was.
Really?
So yeah, shout out Mr. Dawkins.
Wow.
So
Love
there you
that.
go.
That's
Nice
what
guy.
it's all about.
Nice guy.
Positivity.
Nice. Top 5 best subjects in school. Let's hear it.
History. I absolutely loved it. I wouldn't say it's been any use in my life,
No.
aside from 4 a.m. kitchen parties, but I absolutely loved history at school. It was class.
Fair. I like history, but I feel like in school it was shit. I feel like it
I
was
really
just the
enjoyed
same
it.
thing.
So it's my top 5. So there you go.
No. You keep it. Number 5 for me, again, you wouldn't believe it. Media/film studies. I love that. It was just quality. Like, it inspired my love of media.
Yeah,
It's
fair
just
enough.
watching films all day, innit? That's basically it.
Yeah,
And writing a few essays.
and got to make some.
Cool. Number 4 for me, business. It was just good fun. And I probably actually learned something applicable to life in that period of time during the week. So yeah, that was a good one.
I did business and I did not learn a thing.
Same.
It's in my worst. Number 4 for me was French.
God.
Honestly,
You're insane.
I just had I think I had a quality French teacher, and it was just fun. Like I felt like you weren't just sitting writing, like you were learning, you were doing fun stuff. I just think I had a good teacher, and yeah.
Talking of good teachers, number 3 for me, biology. Simply because the female teachers we had were absolute rockets. So
You really learnt about biology.
I kept up biology as long as possible just so I could be in their class. What's not to like about that? You got some unbelievable rockets teaching you about shagging and sex and stuff, and you're a horny little teenage boy.
Brilliant. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. I've just put all sciences because like it was always just vibes in there, wasn't it?
Vibes.
Yeah, I miss those days.
Bunsen burners
Bunsen
everywhere.
burners,
Mate,
yeah.
I've split my
Schools.
science up.
Wow.
Number 2, chemistry. This for me is number 2 because you're a teenager and you're allowed to play with fire and you can make little explosions with stuff. What's not to love about that? Even though I was terrible at it, it was just that Thursday morning being allowed to play with the Bunsen burner and like those little things to light fire and stick them in people's lab coats.
Even just turning it on and listening to like that.
Yeah. Oh, mate, when you turn the gas on and leave it on.
Everyone's like getting a bit woozy.
There was always those rumours going around that someone left the gas on for like days once and someone lit it and boom, it went up. But anyway,
Brilliant.
chemistry was number 2.
Number 2 for me was music. It was just, you just sat around, mess about, learn how to play Stand By Me on the piano.
Well, you bottled it.
Yeah.
Just spamming the DJ button on the
really
piano.
useful, but
Cut
it was
back to
just
that.
Vibes, wasn't it?
Number 1 for me, PE. I don't know what to say. It was the best. The best of the best. What's your
Fair
number
enough.
1?
Number 1 for me, PE. It's got to be. It's got to be on there.
Yeah.
We're sporty people, so we like sports.
Yeah. But what's your honourable mention?
Food tech. You could just mess
Jellied
around.
ham.
Making jellied ham, pierogies, everything. It is really, really fat teacher, fat ginger teacher. She was old and northern and she was the best, man. Forgot her name, but shout out, fat ginger lady.
Hope she's watching.
Yeah.
Nice. I think this is a solid list.
Curtis, now I want to know top 5 worst school subjects.
For me, number 5 was maths at A level. So I love like numbers in my head, but I hate numbers written down. And basically, when maths got to A level, vile, just absolutely horrific.
What did you get in it?
A B,
Fuck.
but I hated it. I'm a little bit like autistic or ADHD or something, and that's obviously why like
This
mental
isn't your therapy
arithmetic-
lesson.
No, yeah, I wish it was. But A level maths is no one needs to do that. It's pointless unless you're a
Yeah.
scientist.
Number 5 for me, IT. It probably should be higher up, but I've done this in random order. What a pointless subject. In our school, this revolved around going on other people's computers and just putting meatspin.com on.
That's why it was good. Did you not like play games and stuff in it?
Yeah, but it's just, what's the point of it? Everyone knows how to use a computer.
Yeah, what they actually taught in IT was a joke.
I don't even know
Like,
what they tried to teach.
Yeah,
Excel spreadsheets
Is that what
for
it
the
was?
most part. Yeah.
Maybe that's why I can't
yeah.
do Excel.
Is it?
but-
I wonder if it's different now. Surely it is because kids are so computer
There's coding in
literate.
schools now, so
Is
do
there?
that. Yeah.
What in like just
yeah,
normal?
Yeah.
Number 4 for me was business. It was honestly the biggest waste of space. Like I couldn't tell you a thing I learned. My teacher was a Tottenham fan. He was an absolute band, and yeah, it was pointless.
Number 4 for me, RE. Why would we be learning about that? But funnily enough, it was my only A in GCSE.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 3 for me is also RE in that I just felt like, again, it was just taught horrendously. Like, I think you could make it good, but
Yeah.
An RE teacher is a teacher that failed at everything else, and they put them there to just teach a pointless subject. That's all it is.
Number 3 for me, languages. I was absolutely terrible at these. I remember just being sat in my French speaking exam, just saying over and over
go on,
again,
let's hear it. Let's hear some
Je
French.
joue au foot avec mon ami dans le jardin, or something like that. That's the only phrase I can ever remember from French. Everything else, I was horrendous at it.
Très bien.
I feel like you have to have some sort of special thing in your mind to be able to speak another language, and I just haven't got it.
Number 2 for me was English Lit. Now,
Mm.
partly I think because I had a sub teacher for a whole year, it was just a shambles. But hated it, failed it, and had to retake it a year later.
What, GCSE failed it?
Mm,
Fair enough.
yeah,
Number 2 for me, physics. That was just way too complicated
Yeah.
for my mind. I've like, what?
I can't remember a single thing.
What is that? Is it space?
It's like aerodynamics and shit, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
I honestly, no idea.
Solid.
I remember having to get my dad to do my homework for me because I just couldn't do it.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Number 1 for me was art. I am just not artistic in the slightest, so it was just terrible. I struggled with it.
I quite liked art because you just got to mess around a lot.
Yeah, like it was fun, but like my handwriting, like with my hands creatively,
Handwriting.
honestly, everything. Like I don't have that in my brain.
So you
So
can draw a gigantic penis, especially
on
well.
anything, it's great in snow as well.
Number 1 for me, maths. I don't know how you could enjoy maths at any stage. It's baffling.
Do you not like playing Countdown?
I hate anything to do with maths. Like numbers just aren't for me.
Fair enough.
I can't stand it.
Fair enough.
I just feel like, I can't remember anything that I learned. When am I ever going to use a protractor?
No,
It's true.
that's such a
Or
good point.
or a compass?
And actually,
The only
let's-
thing compasses were good for were like
Stabbing
stabbing each
stabbing
other.
things. Yeah. Well, I think before we do our next top 5, I feel like this is a good time to talk about what you've just said there, and it's the most pointless things like that you learn at school, because the majority of the education I had completely pointless, like protractors, physics. Do you think there needs to be like a whole change to the education system?
God, that's a deep question
Yeah.
for a man that hasn't got a clue how to
Yeah.
answer it.
Doesn't know how a protractor works.
That is a very difficult question to answer, mate, because I don't know what happens in school these days. I don't know what they learn.
Okay.
I can probably answer that when Louis starts going to school. And if he comes back trying to tell me about all sorts of nonsense, then I can go, what the fuck are you learning about that for?
Well, let's say there's not been any wholesale changes since you went to school.
But the world has moved on and you're still learning about the same stuff.
Pretty much.
100%.
Do you not think generally though, like so much time is wasted at school with stuff that it doesn't matter?
Yes. Homework, exams.
No, but I
Coursework,
mean like learning
lessons.
about stuff that isn't useful. Like, do
Yeah.
you think people need to have more life skills and
Teach people things they're going to use every day or will need to learn about. Mortgages. That's what finance and maths and things should be about,
yeah,
is those sorts of
budgeting?
budgeting.
How to do your
Saving.
taxes,
Yeah.
all that nonsense.
Do you know how to find what an acute angle and obtuse angle is? It's just pointless, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Pythagoras theorem.
What
is that?
You know that little tick that has a tick and then it goes like that?
Oh, the square root.
Square
Yeah,
root.
what
yeah.
the fuck's that going to be used for? Unless
To
you're
find
like
the square root.
unless you're like a mathematician using that thing day to day.
No, it is pointless. Yeah.
And surely you can just put it in the computer and say, what is that? Tell me what it is.
Well, that's the other thing now. Is like
And what is pi?
the calculate, like the not. Yeah, it's delicious.
What's that used for?
But the non-calculator exam, pointless, because everyone has a calculator now. You've got a computer. I could ask AI to build me a calculator.
Go on then.
Do you know what? I will actually. No, I won't.
do it,
But I will be able to do it. But like, I just feel like schooling is pointless, and we waste years of our life when actually we could be put on a better.
You know, in English,
footing.
did you have to read a book for like your GCSEs?
For English lit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like now, even back then, I was trying to find stuff online, so I didn't have to read the book myself. I'd like review of the book, but whatever. And this was a long time ago, so there wasn't the best content out there for me to,
You had
for
to
me
go to the
copy paste.
library to do it.
Whereas now, you're never going to have to read anything. You can just go, ChatGPT, can you send me a summary of what this book's about? And it will give you it. And you've read it all in like
Yeah.
3 seconds.
I feel like now you could just take a picture of your homework and say, ChatGPT, do my homework.
That does happen as well. Yeah, because my missus
We-
like gets like ChatGPT homework, but she puts it for a software, and then it does detect if it's like ChatGPT like plagiarized.
We'll just start using like Claude or one of the other ones. Then
Yeah.
no. That's mad.
Yeah.
Mad. Top 5 worst things about school. Go.
Number 5, group work. It's just if you get put with people that just have no idea.
Yeah.
Even if I have no idea,
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
devastated to be with them because
Exactly.
they've got even less of an idea.
And they're even more devastated to be with you.
Yeah, and then if you get put in a good group, you're like, yes, thank
Yeah.
God I'm with this guy because he's
And
going to
they're
do all the work.
sitting there going,
Yeah,
yeah.
group work, no.
Number 5 for me, the smell when you walk in the PE changing rooms.
Oh, yeah.
Horrific. You could see it.
Number 4 for me, the teachers. A lot of them just don't give a fuck and are there to make your life hell. But some of them are good. But majority
Yeah.
are a waste of time.
We're going to have some happy teachers in the comments. I can't wait.
Shout out the teachers.
Shout out the teachers. Number 4, having to put your hand up to ask to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
It-
Wow, I've forgotten about
It's
that.
just
I've
ridiculous.
forgotten about that.
Like, it's a level of control that. Yeah. Could you imagine having to do that at work?
On
in the
this
office?
podcast.
Majid just sitting there, like, yeah, go on. Off.
You're mad.
It's crazy. Yeah.
There was a baffling rule in my school, right, where there was 2 bits of grass that separated one side from the other. And only the teachers and year 12 and year 13 were allowed to go over the grass to cut it off. If you any year under that, you had to walk round.
It's just trying to.
It's so fucking mental.
Yeah, they're trying to enforce, like, the establishment, aren't they? And it's just ridiculous.
Mad.
Yeah.
Number 3, the school swimming pool. It was freezing cold no matter what time of year it was. And the changing rooms just hadn't been updated in about 50 years. Oh, mate, just remember, just feet being touching the dirty water in the changing rooms. Oh, so grim.
Didn't have one at my school. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm
I wish we
blessed.
didn't.
Yeah. Number 3 for me, I'm not having it. If you say you haven't done it, calling the teacher mum.
My mum was my teacher.
Oh, but there you go. I think I did it 3 times between primary and secondary, and every time, even in primary, in like year 2, it's the worst. It's horrific.
My mum is so like. This is so funny. My mum was my teacher in year 5, I think it was.
That's mad, by the way. We need to talk about that.
She's my teacher in year 5. And you know, you do the register in the morning and she'd be there going through the names. And then she'd come to me and she'd go, James. And I'd never answer because I was like, I've come in the car with you to school. You know I'm here. I'm in your class. You can see me sat there. I'm not going to say yes, I'm here.
Come in the car.
Of course I'm here.
Oh, that's so good.
I don't know if this still exists, but the lost property PE kit. I feel like that box
Yeah.
is a paedophile's dream. Because if you've got kids running around in ill-fitting PE kit, like, what's not to love about that if you're a pedo?
I don't know.
Surely that doesn't exist anymore. They're not making kids wear lost property box.
No, they are. They are.
Are they still? That's still running
Yeah.
through.
No, well, in primary, I know for sure.
Wow.
Number 2 for me, assemblies.
Yeah.
Why are we sitting on the floor, cross-legged, listening to?
Yeah.
Waste of everyone's time.
Yeah.
Get rid.
Number 1 for me, just the work, the exams, the coursework, the day spent writing essays for stuff you're never going to use in life. I'm just like Sunday morning, just going, oh, I've got to do that today. You spend your day just writing stuff that who even cares? Just waffling along in the hope that it's going to pass the grade. So yeah, that was the worst thing about school for me.
Worst thing for me was seating plans. Horrific. When you got stuck next to someone you didn't like, you're not next to your mates, just ruined it.
Yeah.
Like, I get they want to try and control the class, but use another technique. Like, you don't need to just separate people. You need to teach them how to behave whilst they're with their mates.
Who was the worst person you ever sat next to?
There was one really fat, smelly girl, just like weird, and would try and talk the whole time. And you're like, I don't even want to be seen talking to you. Yeah,
Brutal.
yeah. What would you call your teachers? Would you call them like Miss or something?
Sir or Miss, yeah.
Yeah.
What else would you call them? It's just
Well, yeah, I don't know. Well, you went to private school. I don't know. It might have been like Your Majesty
Lord.
or something.
Remember when they got to like sixth form, you started using their name?
Yeah.
And they get so pissed off.
David?
Hello, Craig.
Craig is the best one.
So we've done the worst things, Curtis. Now we're going to look at the best things about school. Top 5 best things about school.
The end of the day.
Fair enough.
Yep. Couldn't wait for it to be done.
Number 5 for me, school trips. No matter where you were going or what you were doing, they're always class. It was like a day off school, so
Yeah.
number 5.
Oh, I love school trips. The bus as well. Number 4 for me, substitute teachers. Because when they came in, you knew you were just having a laugh, basically, for the next hour. It
Where
was
did
great.
they pull them from?
the substitute teacher register pool or some
Yeah.
shit.
Number 4 for me, friendships that you make.
That's
So
only at 4.
Well, I feel like it can be anywhere. This one, that could be number 1, but I feel like a lot of the mates you make, they're mates for life.
Nice.
So yeah, that's number 4.
Number 3 for me, and this is like a primary school one, heads down, thumbs up.
What's that?
I knew you'd
What?
say that. Different generation, I think. Heads down, thumbs up. This is going to resonate in the comments. They're going to love it. It's a game that you would play.
Yeah.
You play at the end of the day. So you put your heads down,
Yeah.
thumbs up. And one person was the picker, and you'd have to go around and you'd squeeze 2 people's thumb or whatever. Oh,
Yeah.
no, there'd be a couple pickers, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? And they'd squeeze the thumb, and then you stand up and you'd say, it was that person and that person. If you got it right,
So you had to
you're
guess
then-
who did you thumb.
Yeah, yeah. But if you just do this, you see their shoes, so then you get to be the picker for ages. It's great. But then you have to be careful, like when you go behind people, like to walk like awkwardly.
I've never heard of that before.
Oh, mate, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Number 3 for me was skipping school.
Best thing about school. Student school.
So it was signing in, so they think you're there, and then actually just leaving before the school even starts. So you're either going to town or going home.
Nice. Number 2 for me, when the TV gets wheeled out.
Oh,
That's when you hit.
how have I
down the
not got that in my
corridor.
list?
It's fantastic. There is
Oh.
no better feeling of jubilation when it comes in the door.
I feel like I want to put this number 1, but it's going to go number 2 because I don't want to switch it around. Number 2, lunchtime football.
Mm.
Red arse, World Cup, heads and volleys. I still want to be playing it now.
Yeah.
That was probably just some of the best memories ever at school.
Yeah.
And that is basically my number 1. I've
Yeah.
put mates. You get to spend hours every day with your mates playing football at any chance you can. At playground football, it's just brilliant, isn't it?
It was brilliant, but then if you fell over
Yeah.
on that asphalt
Yeah.
turf, mate, like that
Yeah.
is just knees getting taken apart.
Yeah.
School
Uniform.
with
constantly.
holes in.
Corduroy though, mate. It was fine. It would bounce
Mate.
back.
Did you ever have the year 10 versus year 11 like El Clasico matches?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
but
like
they would just can't.
Immigrants versus. They were great, man.
Didn't
I
have that
remember
down
if
in
you,
Kent.
if you fell over on that asphalt stuff, on your knees and you cut your knee, then it'd be sticking to the inside of your...
Yeah.
Oh, that was just
Rank.
grim. Number one for me, school holidays. What's not to love about a school holiday?
No, it's so true. 13 weeks off a year.
So good.
Yeah.
Especially that summer one where...
Yeah.
How many weeks was it?
Six usually.
6
Might be
weeks?
different in private.
Unreal.
Yeah. I love how our lists include the end of the day, school trips, skipping school, and some holidays.
It's quite difficult to find things you love about school, but we found them.
Yeah, we did. We did.
We're gonna get teared apart in those comments anyway. Like people are gonna say he's a dickhead for saying that.
If you agree with any of those, let us know in the comments. We're keen to see.
I feel like you missed out a good one as well.
Go on then, Mr. Woke.
Non-uniform day. They were banging. People come and dripped out, and there always be that one twat that forgot that's non-uniform day, and he comes in this full uniform.
T90s.
What a woke comment that is.
Drips out.
You Tory.
Next on the run of show we've got here, it just says virginity condom, James. So I want to know what happened. I'd like you to stop dropping your phone.
I'm trying to think whether this was year 9 or year 10. Let's bleep out the guy's name, but I'll say it. You know them kids that there's just something a bit wrong with them. He was one of them kids. And you know when it got to a stage where it was like people were losing their virginity? There was no way this kid was losing his virginity. Firstly, he was massively overweight.
Yep.
Secondly, he was quite disgusting to look at. Can I say that?
Yeah.
This is already my favourite clip of all time.
And I'm sure there's number 3. But he's had no charisma.
So there's a number 3. There's a third thing
He
about
had no
him. everyone
charisma
hated.
about him, right?
No riz.
I remember it was one lunchtime, right? And I think we were, I don't know where we were, somewhere in the school. And he just goes, boys, look at this. And we're like, what? He goes, look what I've got. He opens his bag and he pulls out a condom that's got spaff in the end of it and tied up. And we're like, what's going on with that then? He went, lost my virginity, didn't I? And we're like, what? No, you haven't. He made it this whole thing that he'd shagged somebody at another school or whatever. And then I remember we had a lesson, it was IT that afternoon. And he gets it out again. He gets it out again.
So show and tell.
And he puts it in this lad's bag who was called
He put it in someone else's bag.
puts his used condom that he professed that he lost his virginity with into bag. You know those kids that just were never going to do anything, and yeah, that was just a very weird one. So he brought a used condom in that he definitely wanked in at home into school to go, do you know what, I'm going to tell the lads I've shagged someone here.
That's real, like Jay from the In-Betweeners to the extreme.
Yeah.
Like that would be a storyline.
I can still, honestly, I can picture it. You know when you queue to go into the class?
Yeah.
Mate, he got it out and he was sticking it on people's shoulders.
I actually cannot believe that. That is incredible. Wow.
So yeah, that was an interesting thing that happened at school.
He
Actually ended up getting expelled, I think.
I'm not surprised, but I assume not for that. Was he always up to just weird things?
Yeah, he was just a bit of a wrong 'un.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
So if you enjoyed that clip, check out the full episode on YouTube.
Brilliant. But you've got on the list here Halloween egging.
Oh, yeah. So this was obviously around Halloween time.
Brilliant.
There was this group of lads, pretty rough, that you get kicked out of every class. They would get expelled, internal exclusion, whatever. They'd always find a way back in somehow. We had these 2 teachers, Miss and some other teacher. She was a PE teacher, but they were dating. Outside of school, there's like a massive Tesco, and these lads decided that they will get some eggs and start just egging houses, egging cars, just like a general nonsense. They saw these 2 teachers coming out of the big Tesco's, like after they bought their eggs, and just decided to start fucking pelting them with like just cartons of eggs, just pelting and pelting and pelting. Obviously, the teachers reported it, but the aftermath was the funniest bit. We had an assembly where they put these 2 teachers on stage, and they pulled the kids on stage as well, and say, these lot have egged these teachers in front of the entire year. And it's like, they're already embarrassed as it is. You can see the teachers are like dying inside. The kids on stage, they're creasing in it.
Yeah, the people being punished are the teachers here.
The kids on stage are creasing. The people are just laughing, and the head teachers just completely lost the room. But I thought it was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Both of the teachers left after that.
I'm not surprised. I feel like that beautiful end to that would be someone had an egg. Just on
on stage.
That's so funny.
Any mental injuries at your school? There's always something.
I remember there was rugby on a Saturday, and there was a kid. I think he was probably like year 8 or year 9. I think he got tackled into the rugby post, and he snapped the femur, the femur bone. And we were playing on the next pitch, and I can still remember the noise. That was a bad one.
That's a rough one.
I collapsed my lung. That was a good one.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
That was quite a big one. And there was a lad.
You can't just skip past that.
I can, because I'm not going to tell that one.
Okay, fair enough.
There was a lad called who
That sounds like a fake name.
broke his leg on a ski trip, and I can't remember what happened, but I think he had an operation. It got infected, so his skin started eating his leg. And I remember him being in like a wheelchair and on crutches for honestly like 3 years, whilst he was going in and out of hospital getting that repaired.
Rank.
That was a pretty bad one.
We had a rough one with a javelin. Now, it wasn't thrown at someone, but it had gone into the ground at like an awkward angle, and some kid wasn't looking and basically ran into the wrong end of it. And you know, when kids are throwing javelins, they shouldn't be, but basically it like pierced through here, and they had to get like the air ambulance out. And I was like up on the top hill bit, so I didn't like see the gore, but I could just see like carnage, because you can just imagine like when that happens.
I've just remembered one as well.
Lose your mind.
So there was this massive tree at school that there was a big branch off that there's like a big pile of like rocks or something. You could run up to the top, get on this branch of the tree, and you run out, and you could honestly go like miles on it. I remember one of the lads on my school bus, I was like, mate, come and have a go on this, it's sick. Took him down the next morning. We all had a go. He gets up to do it. Mate, he runs up off this thing, has hold of it, snaps. Right? Snaps midair. I'm talking, he's probably like 15 feet out. Snaps midair. He does like a backflip in the air, smashes head, boom, onto the concrete. Mate, he got knocked out. He got taken to hospital. I think he was off school for like a few weeks.
Again.
He's completely fucked. He had like a massive thing on the side of his
And it was
head.
your fault.
Yeah, it was my fault.
Poor lad.
But yeah, it could have happened to any of us.
Yeah, could have. Any at yours? There's got to be some stabbings or something at your school.
Oh, come on. There was a kid who sliced his entire like length of his leg playing football, because the first school I went to again was in Tottenham, and we didn't have a like AstroTurf or a football pitch, so we had to play in the park. The park was fucking dirty, man. It was like littered.
What, like during lunch?
No, during that PE.
Oh,
They had like, fields that you play football in, but the fields were never cleaned. And I remember there was like there was a shard of glass sticking out, and the kid went for a slide tackle. And it just sliced his entire like length of his leg. Like,
Did he
all
win
the
the
way
ball
up.
though?
Yeah, I think it was a clean tackle, to be fair.
love that.
Chaos.
That's rank. I keep picturing it in my head, so I can't get it out.
Mm.
I think it's time for our favourite segment of every single week.
What's that?
Bart's question of the week. Go on, Bart, hit us with your question.
Curtis, what subject do you think James would teach in school?
Geography.
Why?
Because he could just like turn up, read the books to the kids, but also have a bit of a laugh in doing it and not take himself that
Loads
seriously.
of bully all the kids.
That's quite
isn't it?
nice.
Yeah, well, it's no prep or no work put into it.
Quite nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Um,
There we go. Mine's going to be brutal, I'm sure.
something where he'd carry a briefcase.
Brilliant.
I can imagine you carrying a briefcase and walking really quickly with it.
I would walk quick, but I have never owned a briefcase.
You doing this job
Okay. Am I just Will from the Inbetweeners?
in teacher form. I reckon you'd do something like physics.
No chance. I wouldn't. I literally couldn't tell you a single thing.
Exactly. Doesn't matter.
Fair.
ChatGPT would do that for you.
Yeah.
That's what you do for
point.
most of the work anyway. So
Yeah.
Physics or IT.
What do you reckon we teach?
you would be like a deputy head of sixth form, so pretending to do work but not actually doing any. You just look important, but you wouldn't do anything.
Okay.
I feel like James would be a PE teacher.
But he can't.
But
can't
he
walk.
would, yeah. But he'd be one of those teachers that'd be like, oh, back in the day I was sick until I
Right.
did my knee in.
I can walk though. This isn't a wheelchair, everyone. I've actually got legs.
No one's seen you stand up ever.
No one has
so-
seen you in any position other than this. We've had to raise his bed up like this so we can do the podcast.
And he'd make the kids that played the most random shit, like fucking Tunisian backwards rugby or some weird like sports that no one has heard of. And he would.
Nah,
before.
I think that's too much. Like, too extra.
I think he'll do it just to fuck with the kids though.
I think it would just be like
The kids.
it would just be like your ham, egg, and chips, like sports. No, and the girls, they're like, oh, you can go do netball or whatever. We're playing football and rugby. Maybe a bit of darts.
A bit dark.
Yeah, you'd be the first teacher to bring darts into the curriculum.
Love that.
Nice.
Do your best 180.
I've got a sore throat. Which one do you want? Do you want a raspberry?
What's the one I like? Do whatever you want, mate.
190.
Oh, the
That was
audio
the
level.
raspberry.
What was the bold guy? He doesn't do
Russ
it.
Bray?
No, not Russ Bray. It was is it Paul Hinks?
Oh, him, yeah.
Well, his is like, I'll try and do it. Here we go, Paul Hinks. 180.
Yeah, it's too quick. It's-
180.
yeah.
That's what my one was. What's yours, Bart?
Don't make me do this.
You got to do it. This is a
I
good
haven't
clip.
got one.
This is a good clip.
180.
Sorry, you missed his face. This is what he was doing.
Do it again.
That was actually terrifying.
180.
But I feel like you need to have like a long one if you could do it. Like mine would be like, yeah, I don't know.
Do you know Paul Hinks' one?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying yours is wrong. I mean, if
Mine's
I
a good
was
one.
to do it,
I love that one.
yeah. Any final words?
I want you to wink at the camera again.
Okay, well, you've got to stay behind for the tension. Thank you for listening to Behind the Screens podcast. This was Schools. Like, follow, subscribe, rate, everything, and we'll
Get us
see
to
you
5K on TikTok.
next time. There you go.
Bye.
Got a wink.